Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to explore something that's, well, really buzzing right now. The idea of starting your own venture in education.
It's a fantastic topic. Education touches everyone, doesn't it? It shapes individuals, society. It's fundamental.
Absolutely. And the landscape is shifting so much. Technology is playing a huge part,
Yeah.
creating all sorts of new opportunities. It genuinely feels like an exciting moment to jump in.
It really does.
Yeah.
But it's also a space where, thoughtful planning is key. It's not just one type of business either.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
The possibilities are huge. Maybe you're thinking about a new kind of school model or perhaps some cutting-edge ed tech.
Or maybe creating online courses that anyone, anywhere can access.
Right. Or even leveraging AI, artificial intelligence, to build like super smart tutoring tools or learning assistants. It's a massive field.
And it taps into a universal need, which is pretty powerful for any potential business. It's not niche in that sense.
Definitely not niche globally. I mean, the numbers are staggering. They're projecting the global education market could hit something like $10 trillion by 2030.
Wow, that's huge.
It gives you a sense of the scale, right? So our goal today is to really unpack this. We want to give you a solid foundation if you're considering entering this space or maybe even growing an education business you already have.
Yeah, let's try to break down the key components, the big shifts happening, and some practical things to keep in mind.
Okay, so first things first. When we say education, it's not just classrooms and textbooks like when we were kids, is it? There's more to it.
That's a great starting point. Yeah, we can break down how learning happens into a few main categories. First up, there's formal education.
Okay,
This is your structured system, schools, colleges, universities. Think K-12, higher ed. It follows a set curriculum. You get qualifications, diplomas, that sort of thing.
right. The official pathway, your report cards, your degree. Got it. What else?
Then you've got non-formal education. This is still organized learning, but it happens outside that traditional school system.
Oh, okay.
Think workshops, professional development courses, coding boot camps, online courses on platforms like Coursera or Udemy. It's usually more flexible, often focused on specific skills.
So learning practical stuff, often on your own time. Makes sense. And the third type.
That's informal education. This is basically learning through life experience. It's not structured,
How do you mean?
like learning from colleagues at work, figuring something out through trial and error, reading books, watching documentaries, even just exploring hobbies online. It's spontaneous, self-directed.
Okay, that paints a clearer picture. We're constantly learning in these different ways. And it's more than just a nice to have, isn't it? It's critical.
Absolutely critical. Education is fundamentally a public service. It empowers people, drives social progress. But, and this is crucial for entrepreneurs, it's also a massive global industry.
Right. Those two sides, the service and the industry, they kind of coexist and influence each other.
Exactly. And understanding that dynamic is really important when you're thinking about starting a business here.
Okay, so we see the big picture of what education is. Now, if you're thinking business, where do you even begin? It seems so broad.
It is broad. That's why understanding the different market segments is so helpful. Think of these as the different arenas you could play in, the specific groups of learners you might serve.
Like focusing on kids or adults or specific subjects.
Precisely. So a major segment is K-12, that's kindergarten through 12th grade, primary, secondary education.
Okay, so businesses here might create tutoring apps, learning games for young kids, supplemental materials for teachers, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Then you have higher education colleges, universities, postgraduate studies. Businesses might offer specialized course platforms, student support services, research tools.
Gotcha. What about learning for work?
That's a huge one. Workforce development or corporate learning. This is all about adult learning, professional development, upskilling, reskilling, corporate training programs.
Makes sense. Jobs are changing so fast, people constantly need new skills.
They really do. Then there's test prep, helping students prepare for standardized tests, essay, GRE, GMAT, professional certifications, even language proficiency tests like TOEFL or IELTS.
Yes, the big exams,
Yeah.
always a market for that.
Definitely. And related is language learning itself. A massive global market, people learning English, Spanish, Mandarin, you name it, for travel, work, personal enrichment.
Right. What else is out there?
We also need to mention special education. Serving learners with diverse needs require specialized approaches, tools, and expertise. It's incredibly important.
Very important, yeah.
Then there's a fun one, edutainment. Blending education with entertainment. Think learning games, interactive museum exhibits, educational apps that feel like play.
Oh, like those science kits for kids or apps that teach coding through games. Clever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And finally, a really growing segment is individual educational content creators. People building audiences on platforms like YouTube, Substack, Skillshare, teaching specific skills or topics.
Wow. Okay. So lots of different zones. It sounds like step one is really figuring out which of these playgrounds you want to focus on. Who do you want to help?
Absolutely. Nailing down your target audience and their specific needs within one of these segments is probably the most critical first step. You can't serve everyone.
Right. Like for K-12, maybe the need isn't just another math app, but one that specifically helps kids who struggle with word problems. And maybe it integrates directly with the tools teachers already use, something specific.
Exactly. Find that unmet need or that specific pain point within a segment.
Okay. Now, a lot of this sounds very modern, very tech-driven, but surely there are older, more traditional ways people have run education businesses for ages.
Oh, absolutely. There are definitely tried and true paths, established business models. Think about private schools, K-12, or even specialized colleges. They've been around forever.
Right. And tutoring centers, those physical places kids go after school for extra help.
Yep. Still very common. Textbook publishing and creating supplementary learning materials, that's another long-standing pillar of the industry, though it's evolving with digital formats.
Sure, but the core business of creating learning content is still there.
Exactly. Test preparation services, while they might use tech now, the fundamental business of prepping for exams has a long history. And lastly, corporate training providers, companies specializing in delivering training programs to other businesses. That's also a well-established model.
So these traditional models, they often seem to involve more physical presence, maybe licensing, hiring educators directly, longer planning cycles, perhaps?
That's a fair characterization, generally speaking. They often rely heavily on human capital, physical infrastructure, established processes, and navigating accreditation or licensing requirements, which can take time.
Okay, that makes sense. So we have the segments, the models. But who are all the different people involved? It can't just be the student and the teacher.
Not by a long shot. Understanding the key stakeholders is crucial because you need to know who you're selling to, who influences decisions, and whose needs you have to meet.
Right. So who's in the mix?
Well, first and foremost, the students. The end users, the learners. Their experience is paramount. Then, especially for younger learners, parents are huge stakeholders. They're often the decision makers and the payers.
Definitely. Their priorities matter a lot.
Then you have educators, teachers, teaching assistants, professors, trainers. They deliver the instruction and often influence what tools or materials get used.
Okay.
Next are administrators. Principals, deans, department heads, school district officials, they manage the institutions, budgets, and often make purchasing decisions, especially for schools and universities.
The managers and decision makers within the system.
Exactly. Then there are government bodies, departments of education, funding agencies, policymakers. They set regulations, standards, and sometimes provide funding or run programs.
Okay, the rule makers and funders.
Don't forget corporate buyers. These are businesses purchasing training or upskilling solutions for their employees, often HR or learning and development departments.
Ah, like the company paying for that workforce development we mentioned.
Precisely. And finally, particularly in the tech space, you have investors and ed tech VCs, venture capitalists. They provide the funding to help startups grow, so their interests and metrics matter too.
Wow, that's a lot of different groups to consider. So if you're building something, you really need to think about how it serves or at least impacts
Yeah,
several of these groups, right?
absolutely. A product might need to appeal to students for engagement, parents for perceived value, teachers for ease of use, and administrators for cost effectiveness and alignment with curriculum standards. It's complex.
Yeah, you have to understand their different motivations, their pain points, what they actually care about. Like, parents might care less about the tech features and more about safety and measurable progress for their child.
Exactly that. Deep empathy for each stakeholder group is key.
Now, you mentioned government bodies and rules. Education feels like an area that would be heavily regulated. What kind of regulatory and accreditation hurdles do people need to be aware of?
You're right, it can be complex. Compliance is non-negotiable. First, depending on your model, you might need state or provincial licensing just to operate legally, especially if you're like a school or certain types of training providers.
Okay, basic permission to run the business.
Yes. Then there's accreditation. This involves specific bodies evaluating your institution or program against quality standards. Getting accredited can be vital for credibility, student aid eligibility, and transferability of credits. It's like a quality seal.
So not always legally required, but often really important for trust and legitimacy.
Very often, yes.
Yeah.
Then, hugely important today, data privacy laws.
Hmm.
If you handle student data, you absolutely must comply with regulations like FERPA in the U.S. for student records, GDPR in Europe for general data protection, and COPPA in the U.S. for children's online privacy.
That sounds critical, especially with online platforms collecting user data.
It's massive. Breaches or non-compliance can be devastating. You also need to consider labor laws if you're hiring educators, tutors, or other staff. Fair wages, working conditions, contracts, all that needs careful attention.
Right. Employment rules.
And finally, especially for digital products, online safety and accessibility standards are crucial. Things like ensuring your platform is safe for children and meeting accessibility guidelines like WCAG so people with disabilities can use your resources.
Okay. It sounds like a lot to navigate, maybe not the most exciting part, but essential for building a sustainable and trustworthy business.
Essential is the word. Skipping these steps is asking for trouble down the line. Building trust starts with playing by the rules.
Okay, let's shift gears to the more exciting stuff. What are some of the really cool emerging trends that are shaking things up in education right now?
Oh, there are some really interesting developments. One big one is microlearning.
Microlearning.
Yeah, breaking down complex topics into small, bite-sized chunks. Think short videos, quick quizzes, focused lessons that you can consume easily, often on your phone. Perfect for short attention spans and busy schedules. Learn something specific really quickly.
Exactly. Another huge trend is gamification. Applying game mechanics points, badges, leaderboards, challenges to learning activities to boost engagement and motivation.
Making learning feel more like a game. I can see how that would work, especially for younger learners, but maybe adults too.
Absolutely, for all ages. Then there's hybrid learning, blending face-to-face instruction with online components. This offers flexibility and combines the benefits of both worlds. It really took off recently, didn't it?
It certainly did. Everyone had to figure that out quickly.
Yeah. Another key trend is learning analytics. Using data on how students interact with learning materials to understand progress, identify struggling points, and personalize the learning experience.
So using data to see what's working and what's not and adjusting things for individual students, that sounds powerful.
It really is. Imagine a platform noticing you're stuck on a concept and automatically offering you a different explanation or extra practice.
Wow. What else? And we're starting to see more about blockchain for credentialing, using blockchain's secure, verifiable nature to issue digital certificates or badges for skills and achievements.
Like a tamper-proof digital resume of your skills?
Sort of, yeah. It could make verifying qualifications much easier and more trustworthy for employers. It's still early days, and interoperability between systems is a challenge, but the potential is there.
Very interesting. These trends definitely point towards more personalized, flexible, engaging, and data-driven learning experiences.
That's the direction, for sure. And it opens up lots of avenues for new business ideas.
And underpinning so many of these trends is technology, isn't it?
Yeah.
Feels like tech is the great enabler here.
Absolutely. The impact of technology is profound. It's democratizing access, enabling personalization at scale, and creating entirely new business models.
How so? What are the key tech pieces?
Well, you have learning management systems, LMS, platforms like Moodle, Canvas, Blackboard, or even simpler ones like Teachable or Thinkific. They provide the infrastructure for delivering online courses, managing students, tracking progress.
Like the online classroom hub.
Exactly. They've lowered the barrier significantly for anyone wanting to create and sell a course. Then there are MOOCs, massive open online courses. Platforms like Coursera, ADX, Udemy have brought courses from top universities and experts to millions globally.
Yeah, they really opened up access.
Virtual classroom tools like Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams became essential overnight, enabling live online instruction and collaboration.
Tell me about it.
And don't forget content platforms. YouTube is a massive educational resource. Substack allows writers to build paid learning communities. LinkedIn Learning offers professional courses. These platforms empower individual creators and reach huge audiences.
It really feels like tech removes the need for a physical building for so many types of education businesses now.
It absolutely does. It dramatically reduces startup costs and allows you to reach a global audience from day one, potentially.
Okay, now for the really futuristic sounding one. Artificial intelligence, AI. Everyone's talking about it. How is AI actually being used in education today? Is it still mostly hype?
It's definitely past the hype stage. There are real applications happening now, though it's still evolving fast. One of the biggest impacts is on personalized learning paths.
How does that work?
AI can analyze a student's performance, learning style, pace, and interests, and then adapt the curriculum and content dynamically. So if you master a concept quickly, it moves you on. If you struggle, it offers more support or different approaches.
So truly individualized learning, not one size fits all. That's the dream, isn't it?
It is. AI is also being used for automated grading and feedback, especially for multiple choice questions, coding exercises, even providing initial feedback on essays, freeing up teacher time for more complex interaction.
That could be a huge time saver for educators.
Definitely. We're also seeing natural language processing, NLP, used to analyze written work for grammar, style, and even sentiment, or to power sophisticated chatbots.
Chatbots, like robot tutors.
Sort of. AI tutors and chatbots like Khan Academy's Khanmigo can answer student questions 24/7, provide hints, explain concepts, and offer practice exercises. They're getting surprisingly good.
Wow. What else?
AI tools are emerging to help create curriculum and learning materials faster, suggesting resources, drafting lesson plans, or generating quiz questions. And for language learning, voice recognition powered by AI can provide instant feedback on pronunciation.
It sounds like AI can touch almost every part of the learning process. So if you're starting a business now, how can you realistically leverage AI without needing, a giant R&D budget?
Great question. You don't need to build the next generative AI model yourself. You can start by using existing AI tools for behind-the-scenes efficiency, automating grading, generating analytics, personalizing communications.
Okay, using it to make your operations smoother.
Exactly. Or you could incorporate readily available AI-powered tools into your offering, maybe integrating an AI writing assistant for students, or using an AI chatbot for basic customer support or student queries.
Right, plug-and-play solutions.
And AI can definitely accelerate course creation. Tools can help research topics, outline content, draft scripts, find visuals, making the process much faster. Start small, focus on solving a specific user problem with an existing AI capability.
So it's about being smart and using the tools available, rather than trying to invent everything from scratch.
Precisely. Leverage what's out there to enhance your specific value proposition.
Okay, this is fantastic. We've covered the landscape, the tech, the trends. Let's get really practical. For someone listening who's thinking, okay, I'm inspired, I want to start an education business, what are the concrete steps? How do you actually begin?
Right, let's map it out. Step one, and we touched on this, is find your niche. Seriously, you cannot be everything to everyone. Get super specific. Instead of, I want to teach coding, maybe it's, I want to teach Python specifically to high school students preparing for AP computer science, or I want to help non-native English speakers improve their business writing skills. Find that focused group and problem, like that garden analogy, pick one flower to grow really well first.
Okay, laser focus. Step one, niche down. What's step two?
Step two, understand your customer deeply. Market research. Who exactly are these learners or parents or companies? What are their biggest frustrations? What are they currently using? What do they wish they had? Talk to them. Research competitors. Be a detective.
Don't just guess what they need, actually find out.
Please don't guess. Step three, define your business model. How will you actually make money? Is it a subscription? One-time purchase? Licensing? Freemium? Have a clear plan for revenue from the start.
Okay, know how the money flows. Step four.
Step four, build a minimum viable product, MVP. Create the simplest possible version of your solution that delivers core value and allows you to test your core assumptions.
So not the perfect bells and whistles version.
Definitely not. Start small. Maybe it's just a few lessons of a course, a basic version of an app, even a simple workshop. And leverage accessible tools, no-code platforms like Glide or Bubble. Course platforms like Teachable, even AI tools can help you build an MVP quickly and cheaply.
Get something functional out there fast. Step five.
Step five, pilot and validate. Test your MVP with a small group of your target users. Get real feedback. Does it solve their problem? Do they find it valuable? Are they willing to pay? It's applicable. This validation is crucial before you invest more.
Test, learn, adjust. Makes sense. What's next?
Step six, handle the legal and registration necessities. Set up your business entity, understand tax obligations, ensure you're complying with those regulations we talked about. Get the paperwork sorted.
The less fun, but essential stuff.
Yeah.
And step seven.
Step seven, start brand building and outreach. Let people know you exist. Share valuable content. Build an email list. Start networking. Collect testimonials from your pilot users. Begin establishing your credibility and visibility.
So niche, research, model MVP, validate legal outreach. That's a solid roadmap.
It's a starting point. It's iterative, of course. You'll keep learning and refining.
Okay, let's circle back to step 3 for a moment, making money. Can we elaborate on the common revenue models in education, especially online?
Sure. Subscription is very popular. Users pay a recurring fee, monthly, annually, for ongoing access to content, a platform, or community. Think Netflix for learning.
Right, steady income if you keep providing value.
Exactly. One-time payments are straightforward by a specific course, a digital download, access to a particular workshop. Simple transaction.
Buy it once, own it, or have access.
Then there's licensing, often B2B, business to business. You license your content or platform to schools, districts, or corporations for them to use with their students or employees. This can mean larger contracts.
Selling in bulk, essentially.
Kind of, yeah. Freemium is another classic online model. Offer basic features or content for free to attract users, then charge for premium features, advanced content, or support.
Get them in the door with free stuff, then upsell.
Yep. You can also use affiliate or referral programs, earn commissions by recommending relevant third-party products or services, or pay others to refer customers to you.
Leveraging partnerships for revenue.
And finally, certification fees. If your program leads to a recognized or valuable credential, you can charge a fee for the assessment and issuance of that certificate.
Okay, so a good range of options depending on the offering and the audience.
Definitely. Often businesses use a mix of these two. The
Yeah.
key is aligning the model with the value you provide and your customers' willingness and ability to pay.
So you've got your niche, your MVP, your revenue model. Now you need customers. How do you effectively market an education business and get the word out?
Marketing in education is often about building trust and demonstrating value. Content marketing is huge.
Like blogging, videos.
Exactly. Creating valuable, informative content, blog posts, webinars, YouTube tutorials, downloadable guides, case studies that addresses your target audience's problems and showcases your expertise. This attracts potential customers organically, like that math tutor blogging about tricky concepts.
Providing value up front to build trust.
Precisely. Search engine optimization, SEO, and search engine marketing, SEM, are crucial so people can find you when they search online for solutions you offer. You need to be visible on Google.
Be where people are looking.
Influencer partnerships can be effective, especially for reaching younger demographics or niche communities. Collaborating with trusted voices on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube.
Finding people who already have your audience's ear.
Right. Email marketing is still incredibly powerful. Build an email list, maybe by offering a free resource, and nurture leads by sharing valuable content and relevant offers directly to their inbox.
Building that direct relationship.
And building online communities on platforms like Discord, Slack, Facebook groups, or your own platform can foster engagement, loyalty, and word-of-mouth referrals. Create a space where learners can connect.
It sounds like the core theme is demonstrating value and building relationships, not just shouting about your product.
Absolutely. Your marketing needs to clearly articulate the outcome. How will your offering help someone save time, improve grades, get a better job, achieve a personal goal? Focus on the transformation.
That makes perfect sense. What about working with other organizations? Are strategic partnerships a good route in education?
Oh, definitely. Partnerships can be incredibly valuable. Partnering with schools, colleges, or universities can provide immediate access to large student populations and lend credibility to your offering.
Right. Getting inside the established system.
Working with corporate clients for workforce training can lead to stable, recurring revenue and significant impact within organizations. That B2B route can be very attractive.
Predictable income streams.
Partnering with NGOs or government programs can help you reach underserved populations or align with broader social impact goals. It can also open up funding opportunities.
Doing good while doing business.
And collaborating with other technology companies, maybe integrating your platform with theirs, or co-marketing can enhance your product's functionality and expand your reach. Imagine embedding a specialized assessment tool from another company into your course platform.
So finding win-win scenarios where collaboration helps everyone involved, especially the end learner.
Exactly. Partnerships can accelerate growth, enhance credibility, and open doors that might be hard to open alone.
We keep coming back to trust. It seems paramount in education. How do you actively build credibility, especially if you're new?
It takes time and consistency. If applicable, pursuing accreditations or relevant certifications is a strong signal of quality and commitment.
The official stamps of approval.
Sharing case studies and testimonials is incredibly powerful. Showcasing real results and positive feedback from satisfied students, parents, or clients provides social proof. Nothing beats hearing from someone who benefited.
Proof that it actually works.
Being transparent is key. Clear pricing, honest marketing, being upfront about how you use data, builds trust. Don't hide things in the fine print.
Honesty and openness.
And consistently sharing valuable content through blogs, webinars, social media positions you as a knowledgeable expert and a trusted resource over time. Give away your knowledge generously.
So it's a combination of formal validation, social proof, transparency, and demonstrating expertise consistently.
Exactly. Credibility isn't built overnight, but focusing on these areas from day one is essential.
Okay, let's say your business is doing well in your initial market. What about scaling and global expansion? How do you take it to the next level?
That's the exciting next phase. If your content is digital, translation and localization are key first steps for reaching international markets. And it's not just translating words.
Right, it's adapting culturally too.
Precisely. Adapting content, examples, and even the user interface to resonate with different cultural contexts. Partnering with local educational institutions in target countries can provide market access, local expertise, and credibility.
Boots on the ground, essentially.
Yeah. Or at least knowledgeable local partners, hiring local experts, marketers, content creators, support staff who understand the nuances of the local education system and culture is also really important for genuine connection.
Making it feel local, not just foreign.
And critically, you need to thoroughly understand international education laws and regulations. Compliance requirements, data privacy laws, business structures can vary significantly from country to country. Don't assume what works in one place works everywhere.
So global expansion requires careful planning, localization, local partnerships, and navigating a whole new set of rules.
It's a significant undertaking, but the potential reach is enormous for successful education businesses today.
Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. What are some common challenges and risks entrepreneurs face in this sector? What should people be prepared for?
Well, customer acquisition cost, TAC, can be high. Reaching and converting learners or institutions can be expensive and time-consuming.
Finding those first paying customers can be tough.
Navigating the regulatory complexity we discussed can be a persistent challenge, especially if you operate in multiple regions or segments. Keeping up with changing rules takes effort.
The red tape.
Overcoming skepticism about online learning, while diminishing, still exists in some quarters. You need to continually prove the effectiveness and value of digital or hybrid approaches.
Building trust in the model itself.
Intellectual property, IP protection, can be a concern. If you create unique content or technology, preventing copycats or IP theft requires vigilance and potentially legal action.
Protecting your secret sauce.
And finally, the sheer pace of technological change. You need to constantly adapt, update your offerings, and stay aware of new tools and trends, or risk becoming obsolete.
It sounds like adaptability and resilience are key traits needed.
Absolutely. You need to be prepared to pivot, learn constantly, and navigate uncertainty. It's part of the entrepreneurial journey in any dynamic field, and education is certainly dynamic.
So looking even further ahead now, what's your vision for the future of education, especially with AI becoming more integrated? What should aspiring entrepreneurs be thinking about long term?
I think we're heading towards incredibly personalized experiences. Imagine AI-powered personal learning assistants for every learner available 204/7, adapting in real time.
Like a truly individual tutor and guide.
Exactly. Immersive learning environments using virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, could become much more common for practical skills training, virtual field trips, complex simulations.
Learning by doing in a virtual world.
We might see more sophisticated engagement tracking using biometrics or AI analysis to understand learner attention and emotional state, hopefully used ethically to improve learning, not just surveil.
That needs careful ethical consideration.
Absolutely. We'll likely see globally recognized digital credentials, perhaps verified via blockchain, becoming more mainstream, making skills portable and transparent across borders.
The universal skills passport.
And overall, a continued shift towards hyper-personalization. Learning pathways, content, pace, and delivery methods tailored precisely to individual needs, goals, and preferences, potentially orchestrated by AI.
It sounds exciting, potentially transformative, but also complex. What's the takeaway for someone wanting to build a business in that future?
Stay adaptable. Embrace lifelong learning yourself. Keep the learner at the center of everything you do. And prioritize ethical considerations, especially around data privacy and the responsible use of AI. Build solutions that truly empower people.
That's powerful advice. So wrapping things up, it's incredibly clear that entering the education sector today is both a massive opportunity and, frankly, a significant responsibility. You're influencing how people learn, how they see the world, their future prospects.
It really is meaningful work, the key takeaways we've discussed. Find that specific niche, validate your ideas quickly with real users, iterate, and leverage the amazing tools and technologies available now, especially things like LMS platforms and AI for efficiency.
And perhaps most importantly, start with empathy. Really understand the needs and aspirations of the learners you want to serve, and have a genuine desire to make a positive impact.
Couldn't agree more.
So, for everyone listening, what are some concrete next steps you could take, like today or this week, if this conversation has sparked an idea?
Okay, practical steps. 1. Brainstorm one specific business idea within education that excites you personally, just one to start.
Oh,
2. Identify one specific group of learners you passionately want to serve with that idea. Get granular.
got it.
3. Consider the primary channel. Where would you deliver this? Mostly online? In person? A blend?
Okay, the where.
4. Sketch out the absolute simplest version of that idea, your MVP concept. What's the core value you can offer quickly?
The basic version.
And 5, think about how you could test that simple idea with just 3 to 5 people from your target group. What would that initial test look like?
Great, actionable steps. It breaks it down from this huge concept into something manageable.
Exactly. It's about taking that first step, learning and building momentum. The journey of educating and building is challenging, but incredibly rewarding.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for exploring this fascinating world with us today. Lots to think about for anyone looking to make their mark in education.